let's get into Will Smith because apparently his album flopped, which is no shade, but I kind of knew this would happen. And so I don't think Will Smith should be surprised either. So last month, the actor and rapper released his latest record based on a true story, but despite his superstar status, the album sold. China, this is embarrassing. He sold 268 copies in its first week in the UK. Now they said while it is said to have been a they only downloaded the album 26 times. Well, actually 36 times, and this is according to The Sun. And things didn't fare better across the pond as the album failed to make it on the Billboard 200 in the US, reports Forbes, the first time one of his solo albums has not charted. Now, based on a true story, is Will's first album since 2005's Lost and Found, and despite big-name collaborators including Big Sean, DJ Jazzy Jeff, say that 10 times fast, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Tiana Taylor, and his own son Jaden, which it wasn't that hard to get him on the album, it has failed to make any commercial impact. Now, reports suggest that the album was hoped to be a start of a musical resurgence for Will in the wake of his controversial Chris Rock Oscar slap in 2022, the move that seriously tarnished his career. The incident occurred following a joke Chris made about Will's wife, We Know, and then he got up there and said, keep my wife's name out your ever mouth. Then Will was like, it was a G.I. Jane joke. And then, he got smacked upside the head, and he was still able to get his Oscar. But everybody else, when it comes down to it, y'all want to dog them. But Will Smith was able to sit up there and collect his Oscar after he put pause on another artist. I'd have had his ass escorted out the building. But they thought, okay, we'll just ban him for 10 years. Okay. Like, what other movie Will Smith going to come out with where he's going to win an Oscar? And what he win it for? Playing a slave? Sounds about right, because that's what Hollywood loves to do. They only want to applaud us when we're celebrating Black pain. Quiet as it's kept. Now they said the development of his film Fast and Loose was also put on hold by Netflix. While his reported £28 million, I wonder how much that is in American dollars, in slavery epic Emancipation failed to make an impact at the box office in 2022, leaving his movie career somewhat in the wilderness. Will's new 14-track album features tracks including Beautiful Scars of Big Sean, Work of Art with Jaden Smith, and Hard Times with Tiana Taylor, the latest of which he was plugging on Instagram only on Friday. And they also went on to say the former Fresh Prince of Bel-Air star has in the past enjoyed commercial success with his first 4 solo albums, Big Willie Style 1997, Willennium 1999, Born to Reign in 2002, and Lost and Found in 2005, all making it on the Billboard 200. But you also have to realize that was at the peak of Will's career where he was, Big Willie Weekend. Every time he released a movie up until Wild Wild West, he pretty much had the 4th of July weekend on lock. So a lot of his stuff was making a lot of money. He was really successful at the time. So he could put out music, and he was putting out music and movies around the same time. So of course it's going to be hot. It's been 2 decades damn near that he has released music. In this day and age, no shade, but nobody gives a good goddamn about a Will Smith record. I don't even think whether or not he slapped Chris Rock would have helped the sales. I just felt in this climate of music, nobody wants to listen to Will Smith cookie cutter, squeaky clean, 50-plus-year-old behind. And I don't think age got anything to do with it, but I just threw the age in because I'm being shady. But he's in his 50s. He's always kind of been like that squeaky clean, cookie cutter type of artist. And they were talking about on this album, he trying to be all like hard and he cursing and he being a little more aggressive with his style. It's like, sir, you are not, that's not your wheelhouse. You were, getting jiggy with it. Welcome to Miami. That's what people want from you. People do not want your rendition of Pumps and a Bump. And if y'all don't know that song, you need to Google Schmooze. Shout out to MC Hammer. Because remember, when MC Hammer was all cookie clean and squeaky clean and cookie cutter, that's what I meant to say. Remember when MC Hammer went from squeaky clean to trying to give gangster rap? Because that's what the music was shifting at the time. And he came out with pumps and a bump, pumps and a bump, looking like a fool with the pumps on a bump. I made that part up because, that was the man that had pants. What was it? Hands on the ground, looking like a fool with your pants on the ground. That's why I was getting that from. So that's what he was giving with pumps and a bump. And then Will Smith was trying to do that with his music. So it's like, sir, nobody asked for this record. So I knew it was going to bomb. I didn't know it was going to be that bad, though. That it was like literal crickets. Like I hear the crickets in my head. That's all imagine. Y'all hear the crickets as I say that. So now they said that, look, despite the disappointing album sales, he's reportedly set to release a further 2 albums this year. So he's releasing a trilogy in 1 year. While the Men in Black hitmaker is plowing ahead with his first ever, and he's doing a headlining tour where he's going to be in UK and Europe. They said they will see him performing songs from his new album along with his classic hits, including Getting Jiggy With It, Miami, Summertime, and more. But some fans are shocked to discover that most of the UK venues have a capacity of less than 5,000, which seems small compared to the actor's huge. Oh no, you haven't done music in so long, and I don't know anybody who's like, because Will Smith. Wouldn't we going to say like Will Smith is Gen X, a little bit of elder Gen Z, like maybe midway half Gen Z, a little mostly Gen X and older. I can't see a lot of older people coming out to see a Will Smith show. I can't even see a lot of Gen Zers or even not Gen Z. I mean millennials, elder millennials. I can't see Gen Z coming out. I don't even know if, I can't even see like millennials wanting to come out and see him perform. I don't know if people caring enough to want to see Will Smith live in concert. And they tell me, oh, that looks bad that it's a small venue. I was like, what, you thought he was selling out arenas and stadiums? Not by himself. Like Will Smith's going to have to put a collection of people, kind of like similar to what LL Cool J did when he did the Rock the Bells tour or whatever. I think it was what it was called. When he had like a bunch of artists come on that tour with him. Like he would, like if Will Smith was going to do a tour, he needed to put Salt and Pepper and a bunch of other older rappers. Maybe even come if he went on tour with LL Cool J, that would be hot because they both are people who started out as rappers in the 80s and graduated to being actors in Hollywood and having bigger success in film because film pays way more than the music industry does. And then, later on in life, they decide to put music together. They should know that, you're not going to be at the top of the food chain and people's not going to be caring about your music like that. So you have to kind of come in and combine other things. But this is the tour cover and all the dates. The dates are in Europe. I don't know if he's doing the United States. I haven't heard anything about United States dates. So, he's going to Scarborough and Wolverhampton. And then they said he's skipping out bigger cities like Birmingham, Glasgow, and Dublin. Ahead of his solo tour, he's also set to perform at multiple international festivals, including Mawazine in Morocco, Positive Festival in France, Dream Beach in Spain, and Big Art Festival in Italy. But I could definitely see, the international markets, they love Will Smith. He'll go out there and he'll have a good time. Americans, you know what? Y'all are so fickle and weird. It's the same thing like with Jennifer Lopez. Because I heard people jumping in when I was talking about Jennifer going and doing tours overseas and not in America. They was like, oh, her tickets were selling. It was just all the negative press. I said, no, they wasn't. Them tickets was not selling. So you're not going to sit up here, piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. The American market just don't, when you don't invest in that music career as much as you invested in all your other stuff, then it's like, America don't see it for you in that way. Like, if you're going to come to America, you got to scale it down. You may have to do a smaller venue. You can't be out here trying to think that you are just worldwide because your team been blowing smoke up your behind and feeding your ego, where you think that everything is major, that everything is grandiose. That's not how it works because the people don't care enough. Well, at least they don't here. But I think in Europe, they're way more open-minded. So I could definitely see she'll have that, he'll probably do well in the festival circuit. Maybe that will help by the album if he performed those records. It's the same thing like I was thinking about, and I meant to bring this up earlier with Lady Gaga. After the Beychella performance, I really feel like, you know what, after that, she basically sold more tickets to her tour. Like more people are gonna go and be like, you know what, after seeing what she did with the Mayhem show at Coachella, I definitely want a ticket for this Mayhem Ball that's coming up. So I could definitely see that that's doing that. And Will, you're just gonna have to step it up and hope and pray that when you out there performing these new songs along with your hits, that maybe people be like, you know what, them songs is actually not bad. Let me go and check the album out, and maybe I'll sell more records. But like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with the Chris Rock Slapation situation. I do not think that that is why people just didn't buy the album or even care to listen. I think that the reality is people just don't care about new Will Smith music. So if you want to go on a nostalgia tour with some old heads like maybe you, LL Cool J, and Queen Latifah, if y'all would have did something like that, I think y'all could definitely sold some tickets or got people interested in y'all. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? What do you think is the reason behind why Will Smith's current album flopped hard, not only on the on the physical movement chart, but also, well, the Billboard chart, it didn't even make a damn dent. But he sold under 300 million damn copies over in the UK. So why do y'all think his music ain't selling? Whatever y'all thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.